Hey, Rob Manners here for Biohacker TV. Today we're going to talk to a rally car driver. Now wait a minute, I know what you're thinking. What do rally cars, biohacking, and fitness have in common? They have one man in common. His name is Todd McAllister, and he is a next level biohacker. We're talking some next level stuff here. So get ready for this awesome interview with this awesome scientist right after this. Great, you made it through the intro. Now let's meet our guest scientist.
Todd McAllister. I'm the CEO of a company called Cytograft Tissue Engineering, which is a regenerative medicine company up in San Francisco.
Let's find out where he went to school and what his focus was.
I went to school at UC San Diego and got a PhD in biomedical engineering there, and that was really the origins of this project. On different variety of regenerative medicine projects, the one that really took hold was around a technology called TESSA, tissue engineering by self-assembly, where we were able to regenerate tissues without using any sort of synthetic scaffold or outside biomaterials.
In this next clip, we're going to find out what Cytograft's main focus is.
So Cytograft focuses primarily on cardiovascular products. We make a tissue engineered blood vessel for patients that receive hemodialysis, so kidney disease patients. We also make a heart valve leaflet for patients that require a biological heart valve. More recently, we've also shifted into aesthetics medicine, and we use a couple of different products now. One is a dermal filler for filling deep wrinkles in the face, and another is for breast reconstruction for patients that have had a mastectomy.
So I want to find out what the difference is about TESSA compared to the other product. We're going to find out in this clip right here.
So historically, one of the best biomaterials has been made from animal products, but of course the problem with that is the body rejects animal proteins or xenogenic proteins. So what we've been able to do is grow tissues from human cells, so you eliminate the immune response or the foreign body response to those materials. Another critical change that we've been able to make is that we make collagen-based scaffolds that don't have to have any sort of chemical modification to them. So the architecture of the collagen is exactly the same as it is in your own body, and as a result, the body doesn't see it as a damaged or foreign protein, and there's no degradative response. So all of the materials that we make stay in the body without breaking down or without being attacked by the body for years. We've got time points in clinical studies out to 3 years in humans with no degradation of the material.
That's some biohacking sickness right there. Now we're going to get into the nuts and bolts. How do they actually make this product? I mean, they're making human tissue. So how do they do that? Where do they get the tissue to make more tissue? We're going to find out in this next clip. Check it out.
So we make the product in 3 different forms. We make a sheet, we make a thread, or we make an injectable particle. And the key point is that we can then assemble the sheet, the thread, or the particles into more complicated 3-dimensional tissues and organs. So the sheet, for example, can be stacked or shaped or molded into other tissues. The blood vessel, for example, is made from a sheet that's rolled around a cylindrical conduit, allowed to fuse together, and then implanted to the body.
We're down to the example part. Now this is pretty cool. Todd McAllister, the scientist I refer to as biohacker, I'm pretty sure he has a problem with the whole biohacker word. He likes doctor better. So you know what, Dr. McAllister, it is. He has this metal case in his hand. He opens it up and he says, this here is a bioreactor. He's holding this glass tube with these 3 brown cylinders inside this glass tube. And the first thing he said was, this is a bioreactor. I'm thinking, I'm going to run the hell out of here. Well, it's safe. There's no reaction part in there. I guess it's a glass tube that contains these tissues that are living. I don't know. But he reaches in the case and he pulls out this brown thread. He hands it to me. He says, try to break that. I try to break it. Couldn't do it. I said, what is that, Kevlar? He says, no. That's thread made out of our biomaterial. Wow, it was super strong. So we're gonna go full frame on this clip so we can check out the example he's got, and then he's gonna explain what he makes it out of, which is called a phytoblast. I had no idea what phytoblast was until he explained it to me. We're gonna find out right here and check out the examples. So we're gonna go full frame on this now.
So this is an example of what I was just talking about. These are 2 blood vessels that we grew from dermal fibroblasts, which means cells that were extracted from the skin. We made sheets out of those cells and then rolled those sheets into a tubular construct. And now these are sitting in a bioreactor with a few other bells and whistles in there. But that gives you an idea of what the tissues look like. And again, what's remarkable about that is it's built from human fibroblasts and nothing else. No other synthetic materials or exogenous proteins were used to assemble those. And what's really remarkable is that the strength of those tissues is higher than what you would have with your own native arteries. So these rupture at about 120 psi, more than a bicycle tire, if you have a racing bike. So we build these vessels from a cell in the skin called fibroblasts. And fibroblasts are the cell in the body that creates collagen. So all of the structural proteins in your body, typically the workhorse that creates those is the fibroblast cell. So we're able to extract those from the skin, purify those in culture, and then really the secret sauce at Cytograft is that we culture those cells in conditions that encourage or promote the production of collagen and other structural proteins like collagen. They're called extracellular matrix proteins, and that's what gives these tissues the inherent strength. One of the challenges with the sheet-based materials is that to fuse them together to make more complex three-dimensional organs, you have to create a biological fusion between the layers. That takes a ton of time. It takes a lot of manipulations in the lab, which translates to increased time and money. It makes the products more expensive. So we actually shifted the manufacturing platform a little bit, and we devised a way to make threads. And the threads really are just long, narrow sheets. It's the same manufacturing process. It's just a different geometry. And the key point of using a thread is that you're now able to use medical textiles technologies to weave, to braid, or to knit these more complex structures. So in the case of the blood vessel, the original sheet-based rolled vessel that I showed you, those take about 6 months to make in the laboratory. By contrast with the thread-based approach, we can build the same structure but now as a woven device in about 3 weeks. So dramatically improves the commercial viability of the technology, still using the exact same biological approach and having all the same biological benefits.
Well, that was a lot to cover in one video. Well, I'm going to sum it up in a few seconds. He takes a phytoblast from your body. That's a cell from your body. He puts it in some kind of petri dish. He makes some kind of concoction, which makes more of those cells and develops this sheet out of human tissue. It's pretty freaky, right? He could create arteries, heart valves, all kinds of stuff. One day, he's going to cure diabetes. He's working on that right now. Matter of fact, he has a rally team where he drives rally car based on finding the cure. It's called Driven to Find the Cure. There will be a link below. Now let's talk to Todd about his rally car driving. It's pretty cool stuff. He's got good videos and he's got a really cool car. Let's check it out right now.
So in my spare time, I like to race cars. I drive a rally car, which obviously is a little different than my day job. My brother and my dad were into cars, so I got into that. And actually, I've tried to join the two worlds a little bit. The team that I race for is actually working to raise funding and awareness for Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. So we race all over the country, and that's one of the things that we do. In fact, if you look at the car, it's adorned with one of our technologies for diabetes application. And it's been a great platform because, of course, everybody comes up and says, well, your car is covered with cells. What's that all about? Gives us a great conversation platform. And last year alone, we raised about $30,000 for the JDRF. Yeah, racing to me is a great escape from the lab. You know, if you're working an 80-hour work week, it's great to be able to get into the seat of the car and focus entirely on something else. So it's a moment to escape from the lab and science for a little bit and put my energy into something completely different. And yeah, you don't concentrate too much on work when you're going 120 miles an hour down a gravel road that you've never seen, and you're hoping that your co-driver calls the right turn for you. So I drive a 2013 Subaru STI four-wheel drive. That's obviously been modified for racing, so most of the modifications are safety related. They don't do a whole lot to the engines in these cars. 300 horsepower is plenty on the road. If you're on gravel or other low traction surfaces, you can imagine it's like driving an 800 horsepower car around on the street. So you never feel like you need more power, at least I don't. But ton of fun. Cars are sideways more than they're straight, and again, you're on a road that you've never seen before. So great way to forget about the stresses and challenges of the lab for a few hours. So I started racing in Formula cars, a car called Formula Mazda and a West Coast series called the Formula Car Challenge. Had a great time, really enjoyed that. But one point I went up to the Dirtfish Rally School up in Seattle and literally had the time of my life. It was real frustrating for the first day or two to unlearn what I had learned with street racing. But once I got into it, I got hooked. A few days later, I went out and bought a brand new 2013 Subaru STI, parked it at Dirtfish. They built a new car for me, and now I have it here down in Southern California with Rally Candy. They take care of the car and get me to the races, and have a great time doing it. Next goals for the sport, really, I mean, obviously at my level it's more about having fun, but you know, when the clock ticks down to zero and the flag goes, of course, everybody gets a little more serious. You can say it's for fun right here, but when you're in the car, we're there to win. We'll be racing the Rally America series this year, which is a nationwide series. We'll probably do about 6 races on that series, coast to coast. And we're going to be racing a new car. The Rally Candy guys are putting together a 2015 Subaru WRX, so we'll have a brand new car. Hopefully we can bring it home in one piece by the end of the season. Rally is about putting one close call to the next and just keeping your foot in it. So if you're doing it right, it's a continuous close call. But yeah, I've had a few incidents. The car's gone off the road at times when I wasn't exactly planning for it, but nothing dramatic. I brought the car home in one piece and brought myself and my co-driver home in one piece. So that's one problem in that sport. If you roll over too many times, you don't get any co-drivers that'll sit in the seat with you. So yeah, you have to keep it under control to some extent.
Well, thanks for watching the video. And I want to thank Dr. Todd McAllister for participating and giving us that awesome interview. Now, there's just one more video right after this one to watch. This one is made by Dr. McAllister himself. So check it out, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe down below and go to driventofindthecure.com to see more of Todd's awesome work and driving skills. See you next time.
Not a worry in a world of cold beer in my hand. Life is good today. Life is good today. Well, a plane touched down just about 3 o'clock, and the city's still on my mind. Bikinis and palm trees danced in my head. I was still in the baggage line. Concrete cars, oh, they own prison bars like this life I'm living in. But the plane brought me farther. I'm surrounded by water, and I'm not going back again.
Awesome.
I got my toes in
You got it, good.
ass
Right
in the
6, 120.
sand. Not a worry,
Left 4 at junction coming up.
In my hand, life is good today.
Your right 6, left 4, left 4, left 4, left 4. Got it. 80.
Adios and
Right 4.
con Dios. Yeah, I'm leaving GA. And if it weren't for tequila and pretty senoritas, I'd have no reason to stay. Adios and via con Dios. Yeah, I'm leaving GA. Gonna lay in the hot sun and roll a big fat one and grab my guitar and play. Days flew by like a drunk Friday night as the summer drew to an end. They can't can't believe that I just couldn't leave, and I bid adieu to my friends. 'Cause my bartender, she's from the islands. Her body's been kissed by the sun, and coconut replaces the smell of the bar, and I don't know if it's her or the rum. I got my toes in the water, ass in the sand, not a worry in a world of cold beer in my hand. Life is good today. Life is good today. Adios and via con Dios, a long way from GA. Yes, and all the muchachas, they call me Big Papa.